Dan Vettori here to talk to you tonight after today's play. So if you've got a question for Dan, let me know. Nasher over on the right.
Dan, just start. Josh, how is he after today? Obviously another tough day from another injury. How is he, and kind of how's he pulled back for today?
He's pretty despondent. Obviously felt it this morning in warm-ups and gave it a good crack, but it's just unfortunate for him to, I suppose, come back and put so much effort in after another injury with the side strain from the last test, and then to pick up a calf injury here, particularly in these circumstances, was really tough on him.
First of all, how did that affect, I guess, the day and the way that you manage the day out the field in terms of plans? And two, were you looking at enforcing the follow-on if you'd been able to restrict India?
Well, I think obviously he's one of the best bowlers in the world, so it obviously affects the team. I think that the weather allowed us to operate in terms of the breaks. It allowed Mitch and Paddy to be able to come back on multiple occasions, whereas if we played out the full 90 overs, it would have been a lot tougher day to manage. And obviously we always have the luxury of Nathan and his ability to bowl a lot of overs. So that alleviated a little bit of the concern, but it's always a tough one with a world-class bowler being out, like I said. And I think the only way to force the game was to force the follow-on. So I think there was a desperation to get that final wicket, and we thought we had a really good chance when Jadeja was dismissed, but a real fighting partnership from Bumrah and Deep.
Is there one over the back?
Then, hypothetical, is there anything, any kind of talk like that you guys could have declared early, and then you got some more time than in the game? Plus, there's a prediction of the rain tomorrow also. So, was there any kind of talk like that you guys could have declared early?
No, I think we always acknowledged that first innings runs were going to be vitally important in this game, and you don't really want to plan for weather because we've seen on these days where it can blow past and you can get on with things and then it can settle in. So I think the conversation was mainly around let's make the most of this first innings, trust a very good bowling unit to be able to deliver on this wicket like they did today. Unfortunately, it's just the amount of time that's been lost from the game has made it difficult.
Was that last part?
We might do one at a time, sorry. Yeah. Louis?
Then what do you make of our start and coming today? Just by extension, like you guys got to talk a bit about Scott. I think those guys talked before the series about maybe not being able to play all 5 tests. Do you now need to play all 5 tests?
Well, I think they're still at their relative numbers that we'd expect through this amount of test matches. The pretty light workload in Adelaide, and then coming in today, like I said before, because of the breaks, it didn't feel like we pushed them too hard. And it was a tricky situation at the end there where the ball was incredibly soft and getting wet. But to try and push them just that little bit longer to try and get that last wicket, probably that's the only time where we felt they were slightly extended. But so far, it feels like the norm.
And just in terms of the rest of the series, do you
obviously, yeah. I mean, Hazlewood, it looks like he'll be out. So Stark and Cummins obviously become vitally important, like they always are.
Is it fair to say that Boland will be playing in Melbourne? Would you consider anyone else for that spot?
Well, fortunately, I don't have to worry about that. That's someone else's. But I think Boland speaks for himself. I mean, the way he bowled in Adelaide, the way that he's consistently been the backup seamer, and every single time he's been asked to step up, particularly in Australia, he's been outstanding. So I think that would be the logical thing to conclude.
A couple to go here, guys. Go 1, 2, 3, 4.
Yeah, would let's say they bowled out, they took the last wicket before the follow-on. Considering Hazlewood is not fit, would you guys have enforced the follow-on? And do you think there's too much of short pitch bowling at that partnership?
I think to give us our best chance to win the game, then I think enforcing the follow-on is the logical thing to do. Once again, there's weather around, so we can't predict that. We just wanted to get as many balls as we could in them. Look, I think the way that Stark and Cummins bowled throughout the day was exceptional, and I don't think there was any critique at all around the back end. I think it's just that the ball got incredibly soft and it was hard to actually find your exact length, but they're always challenging, and they're the main reason that we're in the situation where we had such a great day.
And then how frustrating it has been, the last wicket partnership from India, and did you expect this kind of fight back from the lower order from the Indian side, considering the fact that top order has been failing regularly, and it might just give some belief to the Indian top order if they can bat so well into Kent?
Look, I think we expect everything. I think we understand that any batsman on any given day can step up and deliver, and so I don't think we assume that anyone's going to live up to the average. I think you look at those averages and you think there's not much there, but Bumrah's proven that he's been able to put on partnerships. He's been proven that he can attack and he can defend, and I think Akash better than a number 11. So the team within themselves all understand that every wicket's vitally important. So there was no reason to back off at all.
Last one, I think, it's got.
Dan, just Mitch Marsh and Walter Williams today. Was there any concerns around his fitness, or was it just a case of the way the brain delays work for Josh and Pat? And then I guess following on from that, how important are overs going to be from him for the last 2 tests of this series, considering you probably want Scotty Goldman and Pat and Mitch to play the last 2 tests?
Yeah, I think he's good to go. There's no issues around his fitness. Like I said, it was just the way that the weather delays came that allowed Paddy and Mitch to keep going, and he'll be an incredibly important part of the next 2 tests, particularly Melbourne. I think that's a wicket that suits him, and to be able to complement whoever comes into that team, I think that's when he's at his best.
Thanks, everyone. Thank you.